Welcome to the True Alien Podcast, everyone. I'm Adrian Smith, your host for this crazy ride we call reality. Or at least the parts of reality that involve aliens, abductions, UFOs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Bigfoot. We can't forget Bigfoot.
Yeah.
We're all about digging into the strange, the unexplained, and those stories that make you go, wait, what? And the best part is we try to have some fun figuring out if there's any truth to these tales.
Hi, everybody. I'm Julia Jones. I'm thrilled to be back as your resident expert on all things unbelievable. And Adrian, let me tell you, the story we're about to unpack, well, let's just say I wasn't expecting yoga to be part of the alien invasion survival guide.
Right, it's a wild one, that's for sure. So you sent me some fascinating material, Julia, and we're going to take a deep dive, or I should say a paranormal probe, into this very unusual encounter, an alien invasion, and a cowboy at a yoga retreat. It sounds like a movie pitch gone wrong, but apparently this really happened.
A cowboy at a yoga retreat during an alien invasion. Okay, color me intrigued. What was the context here? Why was a cowboy at a yoga retreat in the first place?
Well, our main character in all this is a guy named Dusty McGregor. And the information we have says he's your typical cowboy, you know. He's dealt with stampeding cattle, had his fair share of bar fights, knows his way around a horse and a lasso, basically a rough and tumble kind of guy. But it seems even cowboys need a break sometimes.
So he decided a yoga retreat was the answer. I'm having a little trouble picturing that. What exactly was he hoping to get out of this experience?
Right. You'd think a cowboy's idea of relaxation wouldn't exactly involve chanting and meditation. And the sources we have actually confirm that. Dusty was expecting, well, maybe some peace and quiet, a campfire under the stars, that sort of rugged, back-to-nature experience. But what he got was serenity now. A yoga retreat that lived up to its name, maybe a little too much for Dusty's liking.
Can you blame him? It's one thing to be a fish out of water, but a cowboy in a sea of yoga pants, that's a whole other level of discomfort. Did the reports mention how he reacted to this unexpected setting?
They did, and it's pretty funny. He apparently felt like a tumbleweed that had accidentally rolled into a butterfly convention. That's a direct quote from the material. So you can imagine the scene: Dusty, this gruff cowboy, surrounded by people in stretchy pants, talking about chakras and mindfulness, and him just wondering what he'd got himself into.
That's a hilarious image. It sounds like the comedy was just getting started when the aliens showed up. Were they the classic little green men we often hear about? Did the sources provide any details about their appearance?
Nope, not even close. The material describes them as sleek, metallic beings. They descended from the sky fast and in large numbers. One witness even compared them to angry locusts, just swarming the area. Definitely not your typical bug-eyed, flying saucer kind of aliens.
Metallic. That's interesting. It suggests advanced technology, maybe even a non-biological origin. Did your sources offer any theories on why they might appear this way or what their motives might have been?
Unfortunately, no. The focus was more on the chaos of their arrival. Imagine you're in the middle of a downward-facing dog, trying to find your inner peace, and suddenly these metallic creatures are blotting out the sun. It must have been terrifying. The sources describe complete panic screams, people running, and the whole tranquil yoga vibe instantly shattered.
It's fascinating how, in a moment of crisis, our instincts take over. Some people freeze, some run, some fight. I'm guessing our cowboy, Dusty, didn't just sit there and meditate his way out of the situation. What was his reaction?
Not at all. While everyone else was losing their minds, Dusty, remember, the guy who felt so out of place at the retreat? He suddenly became the most capable person there. He saw these little hovering scout drones, these metallic things that were zipping around ahead of the bigger ships. And for Dusty, it was like a switch flipped. He grabbed the closest thing he could reach, which happened to be a rolled-up yoga mat.
He lassoed a yoga mat. You're telling me a yoga mat was his weapon of choice against an alien invasion?
You heard that right. It seems those years of roping cattle came in handy. The material says he started swinging that yoga mat like a lasso, and he was actually pretty good at it. He managed to snag those drones right out of the air. And the sources emphasize how confused the aliens seemed to be. Their advanced technology was being outmaneuvered by a guy in a cowboy hat and a yoga mat.
That's incredible. And it's almost poetic, the unexpected tool, the underdog, the simplicity of it all. It reminds you that sometimes the most effective solutions are the ones we least expect. But I'm sure Dusty didn't single-handedly defeat the entire alien invasion with a yoga mat. Who else joined his fight?
Oh, he had help, and it came from the most unlikely sources, his fellow yoga retreat attendees. There was Susan, an accountant, who, according to the reports, was surprisingly skilled at yoga. She had this fierce warrior pose that apparently translated well to combat. She quickly became Dusty's right-hand woman, strategizing and kicking alien butt.
An accountant? That's amazing. So we have a cowboy and an accountant leading the charge against an alien invasion. What about the others? Did they all find their inner warrior, or were they chanting mantras for peace?
It was a little bit of both, honestly. There was Tim, who, let's just say, wasn't the most flexible yogi, but he was really good at making traps. He used the retreat supply of hemp twine. Yeah, apparently they were very eco-conscious at this retreat to create a whole network of tripwires and snares. They basically turned the peaceful retreat center into a booby-trapped fortress.
So this tranquil sanctuary became a battleground, repurposed with yoga mats and hemp twine as weapons. I'm starting to see a theme here. Did they use anything else from the retreat to fight back?
Oh, they got creative. The meditation chimes, those became early warning signals. And the aromatherapy candles, well, they found out those could be pretty effective projectiles. The sources suggest the sudden burst of organic compounds messed with the alien sensors, confusing their targeting systems. And you know those wheatgrass smoothies everyone loves to hate?
Don't tell me they weaponized the wheatgrass.
They totally did.
Ah.
Apparently, they used the smoothies to gum up the aliens' smaller reconnaissance drones. They figured if it could gunk up a human digestive system, it could probably do some damage to alien tech, too.
It sounds like they turned wellness into warfare. Who knew organic living could be so dangerous? But I have to admit, the image of a cowboy on horseback lassoing alien spaceships is still the most epic part of this whole story.
Right, it's classic. So remember how the retreat offered equine therapy? Well, Dusty, being a cowboy, was right at home with the horses. The sources describe him leading a counterattack on horseback, using his lasso to snag those alien ships and bring them crashing down. He even managed to hogtie some of the aliens near a meditation circle. Talk about a clash of cultures.
It's almost too good to be true. The quintessential American cowboy saving the day from an alien invasion. Did these exploits make national news?
They sure did. Social media went crazy. The sources mention a hashtag #ZenCowboy, that was trending worldwide. And you know what's even wilder? Reinforcements started showing up. Not the military, at least not at first, but other people from the surrounding towns, everyday folks, armed with whatever they could find. Yoga blocks, gardening tools, you name it. They were ready to defend their communities, their right to downward-facing dog, and their peaceful existence.
It's like the aliens inadvertently sparked a wellness revolution. It sounds like this unlikely army of cowboys, yogis, and accountants actually put up a good fight. Did they win?
Well, according to the reports, yes. The alien mothership just vanished. 1 minute it was there, the next it was gone. Poof. Some people theorize that the aliens were so confused by this whole organic, peace-loving resistance that they decided Earth wasn't worth the trouble. I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah.
You travel light years across the galaxy to conquer a planet, and you're defeated by a bunch of yogis throwing aromatherapy candles at you.
It's almost too funny to believe, but I guess there's a lesson there. Never underestimate the power of unexpected defense strategies. How did our cowboy Dusty emerge from this whole ordeal? Did the experience change him?
You know, I think it did. The material describes him being surprised by his own capabilities, by the strength he found within himself. He went to the retreat looking for one kind of peace and found another, forged in the most unusual way. He even admitted that maybe there was something to this whole finding your center thing, although he still preferred a campfire to a yoga mat.
That's awesome. A cowboy who found a new kind of strength through yoga and alien encounters. But wait, didn't you mention something about telepathic goats earlier?
I did. The last bit of information we have is about Susan, the accountant-turned-warrior. She found out about another town that was having its own strange problem. A herd of telepathic goats was causing all sorts of psychic disturbances. And you know what? Dusty was ready to saddle up again. He was even eyeing that meditation gong from the retreat, wondering if he could learn to play it. He'd found a new purpose defending the world from the weird and the unexplained alongside his newfound friends.
From stampeding cattle to telepathic goats, it sounds like Dusty found his true calling, even if it's in the most bizarre way imaginable. And the meditation gong, well, maybe that's the new soundtrack to his adventures.
It really makes you think,
Yeah.
We all have our own unique skills and experiences.
Right.
You never know what might come in handy when faced with the unexpected.
Absolutely. You never know when your knowledge of ancient Sumerian poetry or your expertise in origami will be the key to saving the world.
Exactly. That's the beauty of the unknown, isn't it? So thanks for joining me for this paranormal probe into the wild world of aliens, cowboys, and unexpected heroes. Remember, truth can be found in the strangest places, and sometimes the most unlikely heroes are the ones who save the day.
It's been a pleasure, Adrian. Always happy to explore the edges of reality with you and our listeners.
And that's it for this episode of the True Alien Podcast. Don't forget to rate, follow, and share the show if you enjoyed our little adventure today, and tune in next time for another mind-bending journey into the mysteries of the universe. Until then, keep your eyes on the skies, your feet on the ground, and maybe, just maybe, a yoga mat handy. You never know when you might need it.